Ash has spent the last 30 years avoiding responsibility, maturity, and the terrors of the evil dead until a deadite plague threatens to destroy all of mankind. Tonight on Survive the Night podcast, we're talking Ash vs. Evil Dead, Season 1. To talk Ash versus Evil Dead, the series that came out after the Evil Dead stuff was all said and done. One that I've been wanting to watch for a bit. I will admit, when I heard this was coming out, I wasn't interested. I didn't know how they would do Evil Dead as a series, so I just kind of was like, nah, that's not me, man. And This episode will be just about, this podcast episode will only be about Season 1, just as a heads up. We'll do one for Season 2 and then 3 after, just because it's a little easier to cut up into parts that way. After Season 1, I really like this thing. I have certain hurdles I have to get over and am getting over currently. It's a work in progress every time. And we'll talk about those. But for the most part, I think it's written actually pretty well. It has a decent tone to it, if not maybe a bit too silly in parts. But the thing that really gets me is that there's just so much gore. There's so many weird, gory things that happen, and I really enjoy that stuff. I think it's just fun. Yeah. It revels in it.
Whatever it's doing, it's horror shit. I'm all in, for sure.
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited for this, and I was watching it like week to week for like the first 5. I think after episode 5 was where I fell off. Okay. And I just was like, I'll get back to it later, and then never ever got back to it. And I was kind of in a mode of like waiting for Sam Raimi to direct another episode, because I thought like his directing in episode 1 was like markedly, I could tell. Yes. And then I kind of was just waiting for that to happen again, and it never does. So it was that also just didn't happen.
It is hard to get used to from episode 2 and 3 how different it feels. The thing is that the first episode definitely feels like an Evil Dead type thing. I don't know what qualities it is, because later on, they use like shots that Raimi has done. I think most of it, if not all of it, is co-written with Raimi, story-wise or whatever. Like, there's a lot of him in all of this, but there is a huge difference in episode 1 from 2, 3, and on, where the other ones feel like a normal, I don't know, standard TV show you would watch, a standard TV series you would watch. And the first one feels like Sam Raimi did a TV show. Like, it's so different, and I don't know what it is about it. Can you put like any reason behind it?
He's just like, well, for one, he actually thinks about new stuff. Like in that, the scene where the cops show up to that house at the beginning. Like, sure, there's that shot where she shoots the gun and the blood spray goes off on the side of the wall. Like, he's like pushing forward stuff, and like the best stuff in the later stuff is like directly just copying Sam Raimi shots. Like, there aren't new inventive shots or anything. They're just like at the peak, it's just copying him, basically. I think is like the way I would put it.
Sure. Yeah. There definitely
the
is
other
a
thing
difference.
that actually I kind of like, the one shot that I kind of fucking hate is when they give you the reverse shot for the camera chasing them, and it's just this big cloud. And I'm like, you didn't need to I didn't need to see that. Come on. That's not as cool as never showing that.
Yeah. the fact that there's like a thing there at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just so much cooler if you just never show that.
I do feel like the thing that the people that have worked on this may not do better, but definitely do. Their strengths are in just showing weird showcases of like brutality and gore in a way that Raimi's stuff never goes that far in. He does weirdness. He does body horror stuff. But like some of this shit is just brutality. And he's never been like a snuffy brutality horror director in the way some of this shit is.
There's some of that in like Drag Me to Hell, but
yeah, I don't think Drag Me to Hell goes as far, but
sure.
Yeah, some of the stuff in here is aggressive in a way that I kind of enjoy. Like when they're just smashing in a Deadeye's head for like literally 5 minutes, sort of dumb shit. Yeah. And like
just
that is
getting it all
definitely
out.
That's definitely a different feel to it. But yeah,
for sure. The thing,
a lot of it does.
Yeah.
Go on.
The thing that made me like, that is the kind of the reason I stopped watching, is the part that I don't like, which is like when characters are like talking around like
Bruce Campbell
liking each other.
Oh, okay. My problem is that
the awkwardness
this is Bruce
of so
Campbell
much of
I
that
hate.
stuff. Sure. Yeah, there's just like a lot of the way the characters talk to each other that's so fucking awkward that I just want to like crawl under my skin and die. But when it's just doing the action stuff, like, I don't know. It's both.
Are you talking about
like the
Pablo
way,
and Kelly?
It's like, it's both that, but also it's just the way that like characters will talk about, will just exposit their things. Like the way Pablo talks, like every time he talks about his brujo, it's like an expository thing about. So that also just bugs me. But the other part of it is also then the parts where it's about like the characters like relating to each other. I also just find it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die of embarrassment.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is the like machismo version of Ash is dialed up to 7,000 in this all the time. And to their credit, it's played for like a joke usually by other people just being like, what a douchebag. And that helps.
Yes.
But he's still a douchebag in like every scene. It's like really bad. Sometimes it's really funny.
But like, it's funny until, but then like when a man is like actually into him, you're like, fucking why?
Yes,
this dude is terrible. What are you doing?
The funniest part that like I can think of as just an example off the top of my head of it is where there's two Ashes and one of them is just like, no, they're like, oh, subtly racist, and the other one's like, I'm racist too, and then says some weird thing about like Chinese people or something, and then they shoot him, and he's like, Ash is racist, but never against Asians or whatever. It's just like, okay, that's kind of hilarious. And it's just like, why would I be? And I can't remember what he says, but like something just subtly racist.
They say
massages with their tiny hands. Yeah. Yeah, like that sort of thing. I'm just like, okay, he's a piece of shit, but like the way they play that is kind of hilarious. So I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is literally how much he talks about fucking everybody. I'm actually really glad that it feels like the writers had kind of a rule where Kelly is off limits because she's younger and she's obviously not into him right from the get-go. She's not into him and he's more of like a mentor to her. So he has never gone there really with her and like refuses to. And I appreciate that. I really think that's super important that there's that limit on it. Otherwise, it would be insufferable.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty brutal. He's fucking terrible.
Yeah. I will say the reason why all this is happening is because he got high and showed like a girl he was with. Like, it's like, oh, you like poetry? Check this out. Just bust open the Necronomicon.
Check this shit out.
I think that's great.
Like, it's very funny. Like he goes to look through his stuff and he sees like he's like, he sees like the acid in there. He's like, why is this in here? And he's like, oh no.
The memory just comes back like right away. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's super good. It's a really good premise on how this kind of all starts off. And then so that's fun or whatever. And then obviously I'm thinking at this point, okay, it's going to be kind of like a road trip movie sort of thing. They have to go find somebody who can translate this so that they can find out how they can stop it, et cetera, et cetera. And they're probably going to have weird things happen along the way, different like monster of the week type things. Makes sense. Then they throw in Lucy Lawless, who I adore in this show, as just like this weird deadite hunter for a while. You're just like, oh shit, she's like hunting Ash or something for some reason. You under the impression that she is Annie's sister or whatever.
Yeah, that's what she says she is. She pulls out fucking Ash's hand so she can track him. God, that shit's so good.
It's just like pointing like a compass on the dashboard. Yeah.
You just have to wait for it. Like, you just put it there and you're like, nah, just, you know.
Yeah, that shit is... That is so good.
That stuff's so good.
And also just the fact that we have now a character who is aware enough of what the other side is that we can have some kind of like stories and exposition from that side told. Like, there's some intrigue now of like, why does she have a Kandarian dagger? Why is she called like a traitor by this one deadite that's possessed? Like, yeah, no, there's like good shit going on with her character. And then we find out that she's a dark one who wrote the Necronomicon. Because why not? I will say I did not see that one coming. They got me. I would not have called that. I definitely thought she was just going to kill Ash or something because of revenge. So I'm glad they went more into weird and not just like, you killed my sister sort of thing like she was making it seem.
I mean, it is very funny that she just, that one deadite like throws her into a pit, into that fire pit, and then she's just kind of out of the show for a couple episodes.
I love she explodes when she goes in the fire. There's just an explosion.
It's just like, Amanda's like, well, I guess I'll just take this car.
Yeah. Yeah. Amanda is great. So the thing that I thought kind of had, like, I was impressed by, and also another kind of problem is, I think this show has a lot of balls in, they put characters in, and those characters just fucking die at some point. They just get absolutely murdered. Amanda really seemed like, oh, she's obviously going to be in this show for like maybe the whole time. Maybe she dies at the end. It's like, no, by the end, the like third last episode or episode 7 or something, she's just fucking gone. She's dead.
Yeah.
And that's insane to me.
It's pretty good.
Just yeah. But it also showcases how thick that plot armor really is for Ash, Pablo, and Kelly so far.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because they should have been super dead.
My favorite is when Ash tells that girl he doesn't even know her name. He's just like, yeah, just stay next to Kelly. Just stay next to her. It's like...
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't Kelly say something about like... Or doesn't he say something like, I care about you or whatever? And then she's like, me too, right? It's like, yeah, sure. Just stay really close to her.
Because you're not in just around her, like, I will forget you exist.
Yeah. Fun fact, that person is Samara Weaving, The reason why I bring her up is because she was in Ready or Not, which is a movie I love.
That movie's great. Love that movie.
So that's her. Also, weird thing that I found out, just as a small weird thing, Hugo Weaving is her uncle. And that makes sense. Samara Weaving. Yeah, that's her uncle. So
that's another Ready or Not is also a movie where she gets stabbed with a nail.
Okay. Yep. So this is a weird thing. Do you remember, this is kind of ancillary to all of this conversation. Do you remember there was a weird picture of her actually dressed up in her outfit with blood all over her that she put up on, I think, Instagram or whatever. And it was used by Trump Nation to say this is what liberals did to a Trump supporter. And like, she was not stoked about that. And Bruce Campbell had to put out a thing just being like, you fucking dumbasses, this is from our show and shit like that. Anyways, that's where I first saw her. And that's actually where I first heard of this show. Ash versus the Evil Dead is because of this controversy.
That's very funny.
So that's a real shitty way to learn about it, through like the fake news web cycle news cycle that was happening on the web. But then I looked into it and I was like, yeah, I'm not interested in this.
Sure.
Yeah, I was wrong. I think this thing is really, really good. Pablo, I think, is fantastic. I really like his character.
Yeah.
He isn't just the like pussy sidekick. Like, he kind of has his own personality, which I'm into. I also just like, I have
figure out what kind of guy he is. Is he an axe guy?
Yeah, I thought that part was great. Actually, all the weird parts where he's just kind of an awkward, like, younger dude trying to figure things out, and deadites are happening at the same time. I really enjoy. I like the stuff with him and Kelly. Yeah, I definitely see the cringiness. It is so there.
Yeah. The other, because it's just like, and the other thing that the show will do is just like set up, when it sets up like false tension or like just contrived, the characters are fighting over a thing that then like 2 scenes later they will not be fighting over anymore. Like that shit just kind of gets under my skin in weird ways.
Yeah, but, I could see that. I have another fun fact I just learned right now.
Sure.
That dude's name is Ray Santiago. I wanted to know his name, so I looked him up. He was also in a movie called Ready or Not. This one is more of a rom-com comedy, though.
That came out fucking hilarious. Holy shit.
He plays a Mexican named Nacho, so I'm sure that paints a picture of the era it was made.
Fucking wonderful. God. Fuck.
Anyways, I just found it really funny that 2 people were in a thing called Ready or Not that are completely different. Yeah, I like him. I have an affinity towards Latinx type characters, just in general. So I really like him being in the show, and I kind of like the weird, subtle racism against him. I just think that shit's funny, and I'm allowed to because my heritage says. Yeah, I think that's great. Like, I think that's hilarious, and it's played up pretty well. Also, I love that he calls him El Jefe all the time. It's just good.
That's the person Ash is El Jefe.
Yeah, he's El Jefe.
That was like that. Yeah, jumping around.
Yeah,
a bit. A little detail that made me more okay with Lucy Lawless's character, like Ruby, having written the Necronomicon, was that then she also mentioned that she was one day that Ash just showed up in her book. And I was like, okay, yes. I'm fine with, like, this character has written the Necronomicon as long as the Necronomicon is also a weird thing that writes itself sometimes.
Yeah, kind of like an AI or something.
Yeah. Like it is also a living thing that has where, you know, the person who wrote it is not in did not put everything in it that's in it. That was a great detail of like why she's fucking after Ash also. Just like, this motherfucker showed up in my book. What the fuck?
Also, it like really gives him like a lot of rep or whatever. It's just like, oh, maybe he is. The fact that like she even says he's like her natural antithesis or something of the like, it's just like, oh, maybe he is a little more important than like we've been thinking. But I also really like that he's fucking stupid and like pretty important.
Just like the Brujo is just like, it's very deep. It's a very small flame. Very, very deep within him.
Yeah, that whole episode and that whole like part of the story or the arc or whatever was great too. Of just like, what would you do like to fight them or whatever? Just like stop thinking and shoot and ask questions later, sort of thing or whatever. And like that's exactly how he wins the day against Elagos, the demon. And like, that's great. That's fucking fantastic. He just does a weird like attack that is supposed to miss, grabs the gun and just blows its head off when it appears right in front of him again.
Shoot first, ask questions never, or think never.
Think never, yeah. Yeah, I thought that had a really great payoff. They murder
I really like the way
his uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the way they animate Elagos, where it's like its lower jaw is just still and everything else is shaking. Like, I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, like a TV with the antenna it's like jittery TV, electrical type imagery or whatever, but the jaw is was there. Yeah.
And that kind of thing of like having the demon be like this particular demon made me more think of Drag Me to Hell too, in terms of like the way this stuff has kind of gone, like just the being more specific about the demon stuff. It's not just all generic evil.
Yeah,
which like when you're doing a TV show makes it like you have a lot of episodes.
It makes sense.
So yeah,
I'm trying to decide right now actually which one I prefer. I think I kind of like just a weird, all-encompassing evil you can't explain more, but like that I agree. It definitely doesn't work properly for a TV show in the same way where you can have like a creature feature every season or whatever you need. No, I like the way
when you have a story where you need your characters to be able to like do a thing to like fight against evil, like you kind of need rules.
Totally. Yeah.
In a way that like when there are Evil Dead kind of works because there are fucking no rules.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, overall, also, I think this whole season has been pretty good. I will say it feels like 2 seasons put into one, or like 2 ideas put into one. First of all, it's kind of like trying to find the bookstore dude and like that trail or whatever, ending off with Brujo and Elagos, just in general. Yeah. Like all of the Elagos saga, I'll call it.
Yeah, at the end of episode 5, they've destroyed Elagos or whatever. They've gotten rid of it.
Yeah. And then they like have 2 episodes of bullshit I don't fucking care about at all, where he's in a diner, and there's like a militia in the next one as well. Like those episodes they're fun, but like I kind of don't care, because then after that it's everything to do with the cabin and like the things that happen there. So there is, I will say, some downtime in like episode 6 and 7. I'm looking here, Killer of Killers and Fire in the Hole, which is fine, but it definitely like we just straight up did episode 1 to 5 in one night because it just like was super easy and like you want to see more. And then it took us a little bit of pushing to get through 6 and 7. And then 8 to 10 flew by like a movie after that as well.
Totally.
Which makes sense after reading that apparently a lot of the ideas in this show were from them trying to make an Evil Dead 4 and having a few ideas that they were writing and workshopping that never got picked up.
Sure.
So that makes sense now. I am a little bit curious how season 2 is going to go. So is that where you left off, is after the Elego stuff?
Yes, the end of episode 5 was the last one I watched.
Makes sense, because episode 6 is kind of meh. So I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing what you know now, would you have pushed through it back then? Just like, I'll stay on top of this?
I mean, I should have stayed on top of it, but 6 and 7 would have been a struggle. Once we got to the cabin, I would be kind of in. Like, part of my thing was also just like, I was so hot. Like, this came out like 2 years after the Evil Dead remake, and it was just so much. I wanted more of that. And like there was like some of it in terms of the brutality, but like the tone and like the jokey writing was just not what I wanted. Was also part of it.
Yeah, sure, I get that for sure.
So like Elegos was fucking dope, and when that was dealt with, and I didn't have like the next carrot on the stick after that, really, that was like partially why I fell off. Also, probably.
It does make me wonder what they're going to do to have that carrot, like in season 2, because I'm sure they have to have something, right? Hopefully.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another monster, probably.
Yeah, I have no idea about seasons 2 and 3, really. We are not past this everything I kind of know about the show.
How was it revisiting it, having a slight idea of knowing what you were getting into?
I mean, those 5 episodes that I'd watched before fucking flew. Like, just watching them again and knowing exactly what I was getting into. That those flew by.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that. All right. I guess we should just talk about like things that we remember stick out or whatever, because I want to just talk about the dinner or whatever at Kelly's house.
The
with
dinner
her parents.
is so good.
Yeah. Just right from the get-go. First of all, episode 1 is fantastic, obviously. It's Sam Raimi doing Sam Raimi shit and weird setup. Ash is dirtier than I thought he would be. He is just straight up fucking that one girl in the bathroom.
Just hitting her with his wooden hand over and over again. I also fucking... I love that he has fucking dentures. This is when he gets his tooth knocked out and then he just puts in his other set of teeth.
I find it hilarious that when we last saw him, he kind of had like almost like a futuristic gauntlet hand that he built in the past, and now he just has like this really shitty wooden hand that doesn't move or anything. It's weird. Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
I love when he fucking reveals his blue shirt because he becomes real Ash or whatever, or El Jefe. His blue shirt underneath his shirt. The fucking the dedication to the blue shirt gimmick is like one of my favorite stupid details about Evil Dead as a franchise.
It's weird because you don't even notice after a while that he's wearing it until he isn't. That's how like ubiquitous it's become.
No, I honestly wouldn't have picked it up except listening to commentaries on those movies.
Sure. Yeah.
That was when they brought up like that they hated his blue shirt. Like, you don't have to be married to it if it drives you crazy. But no, it's got to be blue. It's all because in Evil Dead 2, the drawing of him in the Necronomicon, he's got a blue shirt. So that's his iconography.
Yep, it has to be that every time. And that makes sense. It works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the dinner, the mom is found. She was thought to be dead for a while. She comes back home, obviously deadite, but nobody wants to believe it, or they're not in the mode of like they really believe how like big this thing is yet, I don't think. Also, when it's your family, like Kelly or whatever, I could understand wanting to believe that everything's gonna be okay. Like, I get that. It's just a great weird, like, him poking and prodding to try to get information right up until he just punches her in the fucking face.
She's like, and then she reveals herself to be a dead. He's like, oh, thank God, I'm starting to feel like an asshole.
Yeah. That episode is actually fantastic. It's really good. I feel real bad for Kelly there, though. Like, that is some rough shit. She watches her dad just get murdered by a fork. And of course,
and then Ash puts the crosses on their gravestones.
Even though she's Jewish.
You know they're Jewish, right? It's like, why didn't you tell me earlier?
Yeah, I really love, actually, that's what sells the line where he's like, let me make these dumb crosses, or yeah, that's really good shit. The bookstore dude is great. Like, he's just weird in the perfect way.
He's just so excited to summon a demon.
It just means that he knew. He's just one of those guys where he doesn't even care how bad it is. He was right. Or whatever. Yeah. He summons Elagos, and that whole part is great. Of like, don't break the circle. And then he breaks it or whatever. And there's just that moment of like, uh-oh.
Just need to summon a nerd demon so he can beat him up.
Yeah.
Elagos does not look like his picture.
I really like, seeing that was the best stuff with Elagos to me, just because we get so much of the up close with him. Like, the design and stuff was very cool of him there. Yeah. Because otherwise he's just kind of teleporting around, so he's kind of hard to really see. I
really like the shot of Kelly looking in the mirror when she's possessed by him, and you just see the reflection of Elagos.
Yeah, yeah.
That shot's also really good. But yeah, in the bookstore, really seeing Elagos in the bookstore is the best, probably.
So good.
And when his like fucking hand comes out of Kelly's mouth, I also like that.
Yep. Yeah, really good stuff. All of the stuff with Elagos was very, very good, just in general. Very cool stuff. The weird trip with the Brujo, I don't know. It's necessary, but it's kind of whatever. I really like that his like dream place is Jacksonville, Florida.
It's so funny.
It's really funny.
I think my favorite line of the show is, "Place so great, they named it Jacksonville."
Yeah, that's a really good line
thing to say.
It's such a good line.
He's just so into Jacksonville. It's just, that's his dream. He's not an ambitious person.
It's really sad when you figure out why, though, in that part, where it's just like, that's where we were supposed to go. Like, me and what's-her-face, Linda, or whatever. Yeah. We're supposed to go on a vacation. It's like, oh, that's really sad.
It's the life he never got to live.
Yeah. Were the fishing's fine or something like that.
Oh, and he's got his hand back in his dream. He's like, oh, I need 2 beers. I need a beer in each hand. That's what hands are for.
That whole scene is really played up just for like a few really good jokes, because the exposition part is his pet literally just comes up and says, you need to go to the cabin.
Like, you just bury the book underground. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
this lizard stupid. With like a human mouth overlaid.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. This is a weird thing, but the whole scene, this is probably one you fucking hate, so I'll just talk about how I liked it. The whole scene where Kelly's possessed, she's smoking weed out of the double-barreled shotgun, first of all, is hilarious to me.
I found it, going in the second time, I found it much more funny. I was able to enjoy it much more than the first time I watched it.
that whole part with like Pablo not being able to smoke it because it like it gives him anxiety or whatever.
Yeah,
and she's like subtly hitting on him and stuff like that. And just like there's a shotgun shell in the other barrel, and she's like slowly trying to close it and get him to like put his mouth there. That whole scene is just like, obviously I know it's not going to work out because he's not going to fucking die here. But that whole scene I just found hilarious in a weird, disturbing way.
I love when he tells her about it later, and she's like, "Wow, that's awesome."
Yeah, she says something like, "I sound like a party or something, or I sound like I was awesome or whatever." And he's like, "You kind of were." Yeah, all of that stuff is really good. It definitely leads to the more weird parts of Pablo just being like, "How do you feel about me?" It's just like, oh, dude, this is such a weird time to be talking about this right now.
Yeah, She's like, you're just like a brother to me. Well, what if I was a bad boy? Come on, Pablo.
Oh, actually, you bringing that up, that was bad. You're right. I just got like douche chills remembering it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, you're right. There's some really cringy shit I forgot about, actually.
Yeah. And it extra bugs me because otherwise I really like that character. But that shit is like, oh my God, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that character. I'm actually a big fan of both Kelly and him. I'm a big fan of the characters they added, which is
totally
interesting to me because I did not think I would be. As Ash
says
the
bad
in the
writing
first episode, he is a lone wolf. So
he isn't a lone wolf. Yeah, no. It is a thing where the bad writing never makes me dislike the characters. I'm just annoyed the writing isn't better. Generally. Okay. Like I'm mad at the writers.
Sure. And it's weird because the actors are very every time.
I really like the I really like the actors, like their charisma on screen and the way they get along with each other is great. It's just the words that they say sometimes I'm like, come on.
Fair, yeah. Every episode has been written by a different person in this season.
Yeah.
So that I don't think I've noticed in a way that it feels like the whole season has been disjointed, but there definitely has been some episodes have been better about dialogue and things than others. So it is kind of interesting that's a thing. But Sean Clements wrote one episode and co-wrote another one apparently, so he's credited twice on this season. I am a little bit interested to see how this goes on going forward. So did they just like allow anybody who wanted to write an episode write one? Is that kind of what they did? Because it seems like there's not a very many. I'm looking at all of the names across all 3 seasons. There's very few names I see come up more than once. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
It must. Yeah. So yeah, no, I can understand that. I don't think that holds true for all of them, like I said, because some writers are better than others. Just straight up. It's just the way it is. Also, when the plot has kind of a driving force behind it, it's easier to overlook that stuff. Everything that happens when they get to the cabin, for instance, is just like, this might be written worse, but I don't recognize that as easily because I'm interested in everything that's going on currently. So it's easier to overlook that
whenever
stuff.
There's like actual horror stuff happening.
Yeah.
Like that stuff's just all good. So that's not when I'm all in on the show at those times.
Pablo gets a Santa Muerte medal or whatever from his uncle dying or something. It's weird, but that's kind of an interesting little thing that they threw in that doesn't seem to make any sense until it causes some problems later on with the Necronomicon. I hope they get more into what that is all about, because I would like to know what the talisman or whatever he has on his neck, his medallion, does, if anything. I suppose. Episode 6 and 7 were meh. I really didn't care much for episode 7 at all. That's the militia one. I don't know. Sure. Militiamen, I don't care. I don't care about at all. But that's the one where Amanda starts like falling for Ash for some reason that I don't understand.
It's like, why?
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Amanda's like, awesome.
It just doesn't make sense because the show otherwise like recognizes that Ash sucks.
Yeah. And Amanda is awesome. And frankly, she got done dirty. The fact that she's not going to be around anymore is a real bummer. I liked her.
Yeah.
But her name isn't Ash, Kelly, or Pablo, so she was going to die, I guess.
Yeah. I liked when Kelly was firing that the rifle and just could not handle the kickback at all.
Like, at all, yeah.
Yeah, because she just had never fired one before, so she didn't. She had no idea.
Yeah.
It's just like spraying upwards everywhere.
Yeah, that shit's pretty good. There's a weird like moment of clarity. Actually, Ash has had it a bunch where he's saying like, I'm going alone because everybody that's around me dies. I'm not going to bring you there. You're going to fucking die if you go with me, blah, blah, blah. They push not anyway. Wrong. Like, yeah, no. That happens multiple times, but specifically, I guess if there's one thing that I found kind of interesting is at the end of episode 7, the militia thing, he says something about like how much he loves each and every one of them and how like he or whatever, and then he leaves and just like that is weirdly like heroic in a way that Ash usually isn't. So totally. That's kind of interesting. It doesn't matter because they literally show up 2 seconds later just being like, yeah, no, like I'm gonna be here with you, like I want revenge too. They killed my partner. It's like, okay, sure. Yeah. I guess.
Basically a way to get just him and Amanda at the cabin so that then Amanda can get murdered.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We have to talk cabin stuff because this is, if nothing else that this season has done, this is directly like callbacks to stuff we've been talking about for a couple months now. And
yeah,
I mean, specifically they have Rebecca Farrell as Linda, like her head.
Yes.
And that's great. Holy shit, I loved that. Whole scene is so good.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. You just like see the skeleton skull with like the fucking hole in the top. And then
just still there.
Head. Yeah.
'Never left. Yeah, still there. 30 years has it been?
Yeah.
I guess, right? Yeah. That's a long time for a skull to not get disturbed by squirrels and random shit. So.
Well, all the flesh got picked off it.
Yeah.
Skull.
That part in general is super, super cool how, like you said, her face kind of forms again, and the way the evil is kind of torturing him by locking him in there with her, kind of trying to kill him, but also just like re-showing her like head being torn apart by a chainsaw with blood shooting around and stuff.
Yeah, where her head just starts like being cut in half again, but by nothing.
Yeah, that whole scene is like super cool, and it leads to a weird thing that happens, but I like the payoff of it. Of the hand made its way back there, and like regrew a new Ash, an evil Ash. And that's what Amanda has to deal with in the other. Like, there's a good way that they separate the two of them here. Mm-hmm. And that whole scene with the evil Ash is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
He just straight up kills her though, and that felt pretty bad. There was a moment there where I was wondering, is that actually like the hand grew another Ash, or is this like we're seeing him in the work shed before he goes crazy and like gets possessed or something? It's like, no, there's literally two of them. They have a scuffle after that.
Yeah. Yeah, they show the hand, like, they show a hole in the wall, and they show like a rat, and then they show the hand walking next to it, and then it has like too much arm, and it's like being all maggoty as it's like regrowing.
Yeah, it's super gross. It makes you wonder why it just hasn't done that. Maybe there just hasn't been enough like evil presence or something awakened at this time that it couldn't. But
yeah, well, it's like like how if you remove a frog's heart, it'll stop beating, but if you keep it warm, it'll start beating again.
Is that true?
Up to limits, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I hate
limits,
frogs.
but
That's
if you keep
up.
it warm, it'll because the heart is just as it works as a muscle, it'll just beat.
Ugh.
I think that's just a thing about hearts, probably, but a frog
hearts are
heart
disgusting.
He's the only living heart that I've held in my hand.
Okay. I was not expecting that end, but yep. Okay.
Oh, I went to there was frog vivisection in college for science.
Yeah, science. Anyway. Yeah. Honestly, the reason why any of this shit exists is because it's a Sam Raimi joint of some sort, and somebody needs to get their fucking hand cut off, and that happens again, like the same way, actually, even of her grabbing the arm. It was
like the first thing that happened to Amanda was her hand got fucked up.
Yes. Yep. That's true. Yeah. Even in that first episode, her partner, was it her partner? Somebody definitely gets pulled in by their feet and a door closed. Like all of the Raimi trademarks are in that first episode. The car's there. I mean, the car is throughout the whole series, but that's there.
They had this whole series was shot in New Zealand, so they flew that original car over to New Zealand to use it in the show.
That makes sense. They're ridiculous. Ridiculous people. The thing I really liked that I didn't know if they were gonna do anything with is they just have Australian hitchhikers walking by just being like, oh yeah, cabin's that way, mate, or whatever. They're like, okay, thanks. I'm just like, oh shit, look, 3 people that have no ties, oh, they're so dead, and then they're gone. Like, they're just gone. I was like, holy shit, they didn't kill them. But yeah, no, later on they come back just to die. Yeah, no. I really like that, like, we should stay with them. Nope, let's keep going. Bye, guys.
They just have to get lost like 3 more times, then they'll want to go to the cabin.
Yeah, exactly.
God, when Amanda just starts fucking puppeting them, that's...
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts. She murders the 2 and then just like using them as a puppet, just her hands right through their backs or the backs of their heads or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like imitating Kelly and Pablo. It's like, oh, I like you. No, I like you. Fucking dunking on them.
Yeah, that shit's so good. And then Heather, poor Heather, just like sees her friends die, gets her leg broken through. That part is actually hilarious, where she's just like screaming or whatever. Pisses off Ruby, just like, oh, amateurs or whatever, because she's like crying out in pain that her leg is snapped in half, essentially.
Yeah, her bone is like sticking out of her leg.
Yeah, I really kind of thought she was gonna make it too, but she gets absolutely fucked by the cabin. So yeah, I really liked So the turn I thought was great. I definitely thought that she was out for revenge for Annie, for her sister or whatever. And then I thought she was just in it to get like unlimited power or something because she actually knew what the book was. And then I got like bamboozled again by it's like, oh no, she wrote it. And I thought that was just absolutely fantastic. Cutting the face off the book, throwing it on and it flying on Pablo, I thought was great until he started like birthing dark children. Dark eyeless children.
I'm just like, fuck Ash, just go in there. Stop fucking peeking through the doorway while this gross shit is happening. This is bad.
It's the worst. Yeah.
Stop letting this continue to go on.
Yeah. That part is so
Pablo.
bad. He's just like crying and like spitting up blood and just larva or something. Yeah. Giant larva that turned into children.
Ash gets in there. He's like begging Ash to just fucking kill him. The chainsaw runs out of gas, and he's like, "She's like, ha! You forgot to tell me to remind me to refuel it. Joke's on you."
He like calls him an idiot or something. He's like, "Idiot! You didn't tell me to refuel." As if it's Pablo's fault.
Ha! Now I can't kill you the way you want me to.
I did find it interesting how he shoots at Ruby, and she like actually takes damage and is downed for a little bit. So
yeah, she
definitely can be hurt by mortal means, which did not seem like a thing that was true earlier on. Mm-hmm. So that's cool, I guess, and that leads.
I mean, she did like blow up in like a fire, just like a normal fire.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
just I guess she just
so.
got better later.
Sure.
She's just Wolverine. That's it.
Sure, she had to fight death. Uh-huh. Oh, maybe they will do something with that. Because they have Santa Muerte. Like, maybe there actually is a weird, like, death type thing that... I don't know.
I feel like that you would do that, like, if Ash is going to die, but then come back from the dead. Like,
sure,
actually.
Yeah. Anyways, he takes the deal that she gave him, like, just, we'll leave. Like, everything will be fine. We'll go to Jacksonville.
I love that this ended with Ash making a deal, because for whatever reason, like, while I was watching this, the line from Army of Darkness I kept having in my head was Ash going, "Then I'll get what's mine, like in the deal." Like, after he's, like, totally fucked up and summoned the Deadite army.
Yeah.
Now it's
I
my
really
turn.
like that he makes a deal.
Yeah.
The deal was that they survive. Also $10,000. But
no, I don't think he wanted $10,000, and she's like, I'm not a fucking bank.
Yeah, that was great. It's like, okay, gas money. She's like, yeah, I'll chip in for gas or something like that. So stupid. The fact that it ends with them driving to like AC/DC playing or something. I can't remember what song it was. It's definitely like a 70s, 80s hair metal anthem or whatever. And just being like, yeah, no, everything's fine because like she's gonna godfather it, as he says. Just keep all the demons and evil under one roof and everything will be okay. And then like there's just a giant hole to hell opens as they drive away or whatever, and that's kind of where the season ends. That's good. That's a good setup for more.
Yeah. But also, like, Ash is making a fucking deal with the devil. He's like, $10,000. That's not like more than that. His ambitions are so fucking tiny.
Well, to be fair, you could probably live for a long time in Jacksonville on $10,000.
Think of where all the fishing's fine.
Yeah, his ambition. I love even more that she's just like, not a bank. Like, I can't give you $10,000. I love that even she doesn't have 10,000 to give him. Yeah, really, really good stuff. Overall, I think just super smartly written for kind of the tone that those, no, not those original, that Evil Dead 2 sets specifically.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
More cartoony, but less childlike, if that makes sense. Where Army of Darkness is like a child's thing.
Sure. It's allowed to have the gore that Army of Darkness didn't get to have. Basically.
Yeah.
That like makes it, and like, you know, there's swearing or whatever. People.
Do you think we get any nods to like Army of Darkness stuff or like skeletons or any of that sort of thing? Or are they kind of doing all new things here?
I don't know about skeletons. I know there's one thing I know about a thing at the end that is an Army of Darkness reference, but
at the end of like the whole series?
Yeah.
Oh, so you know the ending, like how it ends?
Yes, I've had that spoiled for me. Weirdly.
Oh, bummer. Oh, is that the type of thing that like if I can help it, I shouldn't be spoiled on? If I can get through it?
Yeah.
Well, okay. That sucks. Oh, that sucks. I kind of wish you weren't spoiled on it, but oh well. Yeah. I mean, what can you do? This thing is like 6 years old now, so.
Yeah, it happened like this year.
Oh, that's even worse. How did you get spoiled on a 6-year-old show this year?
It might have been when I was looking up stuff on Army of Darkness. I don't remember exactly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, cool. Well, do you have anything?
And I know actually one other thing from season 2 that I've been spoiled on.
Well, I mean, season 2 will be next time, so that won't be too far away, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Any last thoughts on season 1?
No, it's a good time. Like, there's just a lot of scenes of somebody cutting someone up and getting sprayed with blood and just screaming. That's the shit. Give me that. Man. All the time.
So Ash puts his shotgun into the demon child's throat, lifts him up, and shoots.
Uh-huh. He pokes that one in the eyes like it's a fucking Three Stooges bit, but it's just he just got fucking goo all over his fingers.
He refers to his weapons as Larry and Moe, indicating that he's curly, I guess.
Oh, that was very good.
Yeah.
In episode 1, that like little fucking doll that attacks him, that made me think of that little China girl in Oz the Great and Powerful. Sam Raimi directed. Like just evil.
Yeah. It is interesting how in a show where Sam Raimi has like little direct contact with most of it, how much of that is still there. Like, he left it in good hands, to be sure. So yeah,
I love when fucking Kelly just starts shooting the basement door, and it's the house is just bleeding.
Yeah, and she just like realizes right away. It's like, no, it's fucking with us or whatever. Yeah,
I know, and you really love Kelly's like just being like, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah,
it's very good. Like when she's like putting like just beating on that deadite in like the fucking meat grinder or slicer or whatever.
Yeah.
Ash and Pablo are just like standing outside the fucking doors, just like, I think she just needed that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, isn't that how like they find out she's possessed too or whatever? Where she says something like, "Kill me" or whatever, you can put a cross on my grave, and he's just like, "Kelly's Jewish" or whatever.
Yes, Elagos does make that mistake.
That's really good. Yeah, good shit. That's good writing when you have something that was established before and bring it back in a meaningful way. like
yes.
Yeah, there's good shit in here. I'm really surprised how much I dig it, actually. I think it's very good. I can't wait to watch more. I'm super stoked on this now.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that next time. Season 2 coming up. See you then.
Hell yeah.